And finally, new rule, now that many Republicans have come forward in the last week to finally admit that, okay, you were right, Sarah Palin is a crazy person. They have to ask themselves, what else might I have been completely wrong about all these years? Now, in case you missed it, Palin made a speech in Iowa a couple of weeks ago that cryptologists are still working on. And which I have been holding off on discussing on the outside chance it might be brilliant in some other language. Let's look at a few moments, shall we, to see for ourselves what prompted conservatives to finally throw Sarah Palin under the bus.
He who was the one. Now, with tea time on the mind, this is to forego a conclusion, right? It's to scare us off and convince us that a pantsuit can crush patriots? It's kind of Orwellian observing how that works, that rule of Saul Alinsky's, no doubt.
Boy, that really brings me back to the 80s when you'd get a chick back to your apartment to do coke and she'd do too much and start rambling and you'd think, boy, I have made a huge mistake here. All right, new rule, unless the projectionist did something absolutely amazing, don't clap at the end of a movie. I hate to be the one to break this to you, but Iron Man can't hear you. You're applauding a light bulb. Clapping for a movie is like tipping an inflatable sex doll. A slow gathering applause. It took many years, but the applause came in. New rule, no ruining Anna Wintour's Fashion Week by bringing in a screaming baby. If she wanted to hear crying children while admiring new clothes, she'd go to the factories where they sew them. New rule, Daniel Howland, the Texas man who got a tattoo of that color-changing dress, really needs a 24-hour waiting period before he gets another tattoo. Because his other tattoos are New Coke, the choice of the next generation, MySpace, the social network of tomorrow, and Bill Cosby is USA Dad #1 forever. New rule, demeaning. New rule, you don't have to ask me if I want to skip this ad.
Yes.
Hello, I'm at work. I'm spending all morning watching porn, Russian car crash videos, and a turtle fucking a shoe. And you expect me to take time out of my busy day to watch your ad? You see the irony? New rule, before mocking FarmersOnly.com, the dating site for country folks, or as I call it, hicks with dicks, you must remember it's better for rural America to date on FarmersOnly.com than where they used to date, Ancestry.com. New rule, now that the University of North Georgia has put out this Why Follow When You Can Lead course guide that shows white men winning out over a woman and a black man, they have to change their name to Cracker State. Cracker State, home of the Flying Mullets, where our Black Studies program is our basketball team.
Oh, my God.
New rule, Rand Paul either has to lay off the anti-gay rhetoric or stop standing like this. New rule, Native Americans have to concede that rain dances don't work. Look, the Southwest has no... I love the way they were like, wait a second. Are you making fun of Indians, Bill? Rain dances don't fucking work, people. My lawn is now made of dirt. I think it's time to admit that the only time dancing makes it rain is around midnight at the Spearmint Rhino. You get in a fist fight at Walmart that starts with you getting out of your rascal scooter and ends with you telling your 5-year-old,
Johnny, punch her in her fucking face.
You're white trash. Yeah. And from now on, these videos. From now on, these videos have to end like one of those movies where everyone gets a freeze frame and a where are they now? Star of TLC's Here Comes Tubby Punch Punch. Governor of Alaska. Out the life of another beautiful animal to forget about his tiny dick, but I understand it because he's really rich. But a fucking dentist gets to do this? Your office is in a strip mall next to a Korean nail salon. You make a living scraping plaque off people's teeth. And by the way, if you're a dentist itching to travel to another continent to kill something, next time grow some balls, go to Syria, and take on ISIS. And finally, new rule, since it was my $1 million check to Obama in 2012 that turned around his lagging campaign and put America back on the path to awesome exceptionalism. Tonight, I would like to announce that the time has come for me to step forward and save Hillary Clinton's lagging campaign by digging down deep and forking over $1 million. Worth of advice. Sorry,
We'll come back to you on that.
I live in California. I need that money to pay my water bill. New rule, since Donald Trump's success has caused a 1,000% increase in the Google search of how to move to Canada, we must shift our focus from a southern border wall to keep Mexicans out and start thinking about a northern border wall to keep Americans in. Oh, you Canadians are gonna love it when 500,000 liberals in yoga pants swarm across your border. They won't just demand asylum, they'll also demand gluten-free pumpernickel and a job that lets them bring their dog to work. New rule, Columbia House, the 13 albums for $1 people, must not be allowed to file for bankruptcy as they did this week. They must be charged with crimes against humanity. Who will speak for the millions who were forced to buy Spandau Ballet, Men at Work, and Laura Branigan albums they did not want, or that Bruce Willis Bruno album? And who will hold to account the company that invented the long-term contract you can never get out of before Verizon and Comcast perfected it? New rule, before fashionable Christians pay You're way ahead of me. Before fashionable Christians pay $800 for a cross from Tom Ford, they might want to take another look. Up close, it's less Jesus and more St. Peter. Also, if you're still shopping online for nice Christian jewelry, do not Google pearl necklace. Just tell the person sitting next to you. New rule, now that Idaho has had to replace their highway's mile 420 markers with ones that read mile 419.9 because potheads predictably kept stealing the signs that say 420. They have to turn it into a math problem. If a carload of stoners starts out traveling at 19 miles an hour in the fast lane and stops to giggle at the mile 69, how long before they realize they're headed in the wrong direction? All right, new rule. Now that Kim Jong-un has executed some 70 officials, he has to explain why his barber is still alive. Is it possible he's surrounded by sycophants? So many sycophants that nobody has the nerve to tell him his hair looks ridiculous. Yes, I suppose that is possible. Stop trying to create controversy when a biopic doesn't tell the whole story. It's a movie, not a murder confession. But that's the knock against 3 of this year's Oscar contenders. Selma, Unbroken, and Foxcatcher. They left things out. You know what you get when you don't leave things out? 19 hours of The Hobbit. It's a movie. If I want to hear every single pointless, soul-crushing detail of a stranger's life, I'll follow them on Instagram. New rule, someone has to
Dear God.
Someone has to explain to Jefferson King, the Florida man, always Florida, arrested for publicly masturbating in a Burger King, that "have it your way" refers to your food order. Also, if you want to have any chance at all of acquittal, don't take a mugshot that looks like you're still masturbating in a Burger King. New rule, someone has to pull Chris Christie aside. Someone has to pull Chris Christie aside and tell him the lap band goes on the inside. This is a real picture of something Chris Christie did, sober and on purpose, this week at a charity event. A charity event to turn women into lesbians. Sammy Sosa meets Sammy Sofa. Hey, make fun of how Christie looks all you want. He did hit a double, and it's nice to hear about a conservative getting to second base this week, besides Josh Duggar. Anyway, all right. New rule, stop saying that the two-tiered debate format is turning the Republican presidential race into a reality TV show. No, it's more like the Westminster Kennel Club dog show. You know, where the dogs compete in separate categories. The big dogs that bark a lot and slobber. And the small dogs that wear sweaters and prance. Finally, new rule, football is a body-crushing, brain-wrecking game. But we all know that now, so either ban it or shut the hell up about it. And I say that as someone who is not callous to the suffering. When I see a receiver go over the middle and get hammered, I always think, 1, I hope that didn't cause permanent damage, and 2, did he get enough for the first down? Because we needed that play. Oh, he didn't even hold on? Fuck, what are we paying you for? New rule, the Chinese zookeeper who had...
Oh, wow.
who licked a constipated leaf monkey's anus for a full hour so the monkey could pass a peanut it had swallowed whole, has to show us the peanut. I'm not saying you plotted your whole career as a cover story so you could lick a monkey's ass. I am only saying we'd all feel a hell of a lot better if we saw the peanut. New rule, experts must assure the conservatives who think this video of President Obama in Kenya shows a demon racing across the screen. Let's see that again. Oh, definitely, that was absolutely a demon. That was not an out-of-focus boom microphone. No, it was a hideous demon right from hell. And friends, the only way to get rid of a demon like that is by sending your prayers along with a check to Lighthouse Ministries, care of the Reverend William Maher. That's Lighthouse Ministries, care of the Reverend William Maher. Remember, the more you give, the quicker that demon will get nuked. God bless. And finally, new rule, before he leaves office, President Obama must send in the National Guard to desegregate America's last bastion of societal-approved racism, college fraternities. That's right. From now on, all fraternities must allow women, as well as a diverse collection of races and ethnicities. So you're not really fraternities anymore. You're more like that hippie co-op on campus where a house full of art history majors gets stoned every night and makes a big lentil casserole. That's right, fellas. Gather up your beer funnels and your ass paddles and your lacrosse sticks and your big red plastic drinking cups and get the fuck out. Sorry, brah. From now on, if you want to live with 40 other dudes and hold secret homoerotic ceremonies, you're going to have to join the seminary. And finally, new rule, the ad slogan, "What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas," must be expanded to include the entire country and then written into the Constitution as a proclamation that we are tired of everyone watching us all the time. The NSA tracks your calls. Your web browser knows you like nipple slips. And Verizon knows when you call your dealer to ask if those shirts came in. Last week, I bought a pair of shoes online. I don't know who told Facebook, but now it thinks I'm obsessed with shoes. Listen, Zuckerberg, I don't need shoes, okay? Because I just bought some. But you already know that, don't you? And by the way, that inflatable doll I bought is so I can drive in the carpool lane. And finally, new rule, we can give up teaching geography, grammar, and math. Those are pretty hard, but Americans have got to learn how to take a joke. A few months ago, we introduced a segment called Explaining Jokes to Idiots. And I'd like to bring it back tonight for the benefit of the Spike TV network, which last night aired its Guy's Choice Awards and censored a joke delivered by Clint Eastwood. But we were able to obtain the footage of the joke that was too intense for America to hear. Watch your monitors. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson isn't the first athlete who's gone into acting. There's also Jim Brown and Caitlyn somebody. And finally, new rule, with Mother's Day and Father's Day coming up, we all must agree that the best gift an American kid can give his parents is to sit them down and say, "Mom, Dad, we need some space." Now, it's true I never had kids, but maybe that gives me some objectivity. And what I see in the generation coming up is these kids are more anxious than a squirrel on crystal meth. And that's not because the kids have changed. It's because the parents have. They're called helicopter parents because they're always hovering, too protective, too always on the case, too always just there. Now, if we can only get them to work for the Secret Service. And finally, new rule, let's not forget that today, May 1st, is the anniversary of the day in 2003 when George Bush landed on an aircraft carrier and prematurely announced mission accomplished in the Iraq War. And somehow, possibly because Obama's a ninja warrior, today, May 1st, is also the day in 2011 when he actually accomplished the mission by ordering SEAL Team 6 to kill bin Laden. So I say, let's make May 1st a holiday and call it National Do This, Not That Day. Or as they used to say on Romper Room, be a Mr. Do Be, not a Mr. Don't Be. New rule, the makers of the pot of gold at the... It's real, folks, it's real. The makers of the pot of gold at the end of the Rainbow St. Patrick's Day cookie cutter have to stop wondering why the cookies come out soft. It's not you, honey. It's St. Patrick's Day. A guy has a little too much to drink. It could happen to anyone. Have a cookie. And finally, new rule, the PC police have to stop lecturing us on which Halloween costumes are inappropriate or insensitive and leave Halloween to the people it was created for, middle-aged gay men. The fake outrage people get 364 days a year to be hypersensitive about everything. There has to be one day where going too far isn't just okay, it's celebrated. Halloween is supposed to be politically incorrect. That's why we say trick or treat instead of placate and coddle. Now look, I've spent weeks working on my Pocahontas costume. And when I knock on your door tomorrow, I don't want a sermon on bad taste. I want candy. Well, stop trying to make prostate massage a thing. This is the new Nexus Revo prostate massager, and if you find it at all intriguing, then you're a very different person than I am. Nexus calls it the next step in male pleasure technology. I call it $133 worth of no thanks. The closest I get to this is every couple of years at the doctor's office, and not once have I thought, I could get used to this.
Don't keep looking at me when you do your...
I'm not looking at all. New rule. And finally, new rule, someone needs to tell those wackadoodle militiamen who took over a federal building in the middle of nowhere in Oregon that to be a hero, you need something to be heroic about. These guys keep promising to occupy that building until, well, we're not sure. And they're not sure. Something about redneck lives matter. Just listen here to one of them, Patriot John Ritzheimer, explaining to his kids in a video he posted from his truck why he had to leave.
It's gonna be one of the tougher videos I've had to make. Your daddy swore an oath to protect and defend the Constitution. And that's why he couldn't be with you on Christmas.
Start the clock.
Right here with me. Well, someone has to explain to the girl at every concert who gets up on her boyfriend's shoulders, yeah, better for you, ruining it for everyone else. Excuse me, but you're blocking the view of all the rest of us who paid our hard-earned money to see this concert through our tiny phones. Neuro, the mantis shrimp, which can reflect light off its body and wields 2 sets of lightning-fast claws, has to become the new LGBT mascot. I mean, the rainbow flag, it's nice, but this thing just screams, I am fabulous and not to be fucked with. Well, if the new normal is a president who has bragged about sexual assault and walking in on naked teenage beauty pageant contestants, and who has spoken lustfully about his own daughter, and once said of a 5th grader, I'm going to date her in 10 years. The thing was disgusting, but so is openly humiliating your first wife, the mother of your children, while you romance your future second wife in public. But again, Trump supporters just make a different calculation. They say, no, I don't like cheating and pussy grabbing, but hey, this ain't a friendly fight. This is a battle for the soul of the country. And it is. And since it is, Democrats should be allowed to put our alpha pervs back on the board. No longer shies away from saying Trump lies on the front page. Also, sometimes pussy and fuck on the front page, which is awesome. Scott Pelley of CBS, who I do not like. I do not. Made me like him one night when he started his broadcast like this.
It has been a busy day for presidential statements divorced from reality.
Well, as long as Putin is taking Syria off our hands, we should ask him if he'd also like to handle Cosby. Because obviously everything we try just makes him stronger, so... Come on, Vlad, we know you own poison if there was ever a guy who deserved a little something slipped in his drink. Opened at Domino's in Milan, the Italians should at least try our fake pizza. It's only fair since we're trying a fake Mussolini. Love means finding someone who looks at you like Ivanka looks at Justin Trudeau. She's not a married woman indulging in some erotic daydream of forbidden desire. She just wants to move to Canada. Vladimir Putin has gone full Borat and actually said, Russian prostitutes are best in the world. Russia must change its tourism slogan to come for the hooker, stay because you fell asleep after you came for the hooker. Which was funnier, the part of the inauguration where George Bush was unable to put his rain poncho on, or the part where Dick Cheney leaned forward and said, Jesus, you're still a dumb shit. When you put the word out that, quote, Mr. Trump speaks for Mr. Trump and nobody but Mr. Trump speaks for him, you can't do it through a spokesman. Good. New rule, before Instagram bans another foreign account for showing a model's pubic hair, as they did this week, they have to explain to us out here in L.A., what's pubic hair? The country of Nepal in the Himalayas has to learn how a real democracy operates. Come on, Nepal, you're better than this. When something is said in a joint session that you don't like, you don't start throwing the furniture around like an angry teenager. You pout and sulk like a little bitch. New rule, someone must tell Microsoft, who are introducing software that tracks marijuana plants from seed to sale, don't. I don't need all that. I'm going to smoke it, not date it. If you want to help out stoners, invent an app that tracks where they left their lighter. New rule, all you other trees have to stop hating on palm trees. Yes, I know, they get to spend their whole lives at the beach and everybody wants to party with them and they can eat everything they want and never seem to gain weight. But are they happy? Yes, of course they are. Deal with it, oak tree, you big, fat, boring, fat ass. New rule, don't leave your baby with Larry Leroy Floyd. He's the Florida man who was arrested last week for trying to circumcise his nephew while his brother-in-law was grocery shopping. Boy, and I get mad when someone just tries to cut in line. New rule, before taking Addy, the new FDA-approved pill to boost women's sex drives, or one of the many boner pills available for men, couples must first try both getting into the same bathtub. And I hate to break it to you, but if you have to ask your doctor if you're healthy enough for sex, you're probably not healthy enough for sex. New rule, the British artist who decided to draw attention to potholes in London by spray painting penises around them should have told us that. I thought it was directions to George Michael's house. New rule, someone has to tell Florida lawmakers who just passed a bill saying Planned Parenthood can no longer take Medicaid and that women can get their birth control and breast exams at elementary schools and dental offices, that if you're getting a breast exam from your dentist, it's because he's fondling you while you're under. New rule, now that yet another study has found that red wine is good for you, we don't need any more of these studies. We already drink more wine than France. What more can we do? Put it in enemas? You scientists need to lay off the Merlot and find other things we like that are good for us. Do Twinkies prevent glaucoma? Does chronic masturbation reduce levels of bad cholesterol? Send your answers to Clean Diesel, care of Volkswagen, Wolfsburg, Germany. New rule, I get that God loves us all and made STDs to punish people for sex, but someone has to explain why he made mosquitoes. To punish us for hiking? Maybe we'll never know why God made mosquitoes, but why did Noah bring them on the ark? Hey, Shem, don't forget to pack the blood-sucking bugs with the disease. New rule, the Houston restaurant that refused to serve this man because they equate facial tattoos with gang affiliation must apologize. There's a distinct difference between this guy and a gang member. This guy just got silly designs permanently inked onto his face. Gang members make bad decisions. New rule, airlines have to stop offering us priority boarding. Like that's some big treat. You mean I get to be stuck at... You mean I get to be stuck in your germ tube? Stuck in your germ tube? Even longer than the rest of these people? Thanks, Delta. You read my mind. The only benefit is you get to watch all the other passengers walk down the aisle after you, or as I like to call it, the big fat American fashion show. New rule, when a college football player sustains a concussion, he can't return to the field of play until he can answer 3 questions. 1, name the university on your helmet that lowered their entrance requirements so you could attend. 2, what bogus major do you pretend to study now? And 3, name the rich alumni who bought your mom a new car.